no sugarcoat, it's truth on the stage.
Come
Hey,
on.
Boogie, keep it rolling on the honest exchange.
Yeah.
Well, there is a pot of money that you can control, that you can make sure that teachers get in August or July. That is the school supply funds. And for the last however many years, we have never received that money on time. And that's a decision that you make. The decision to say we're not going to issue that money is not a decision that the union makes. And we've almost had to beg that that money gets out on time. So again, if we're interested in working together, let's decide to work together. Let's not make the divisive comments especially at a time when we all need to be on board. The tax initiative that's happening now, that's a place where the teachers and the teachers union and the district should be working together. All across the state of Florida, except in Gadsden County, the tax initiative was passed because the teachers union and the district worked together. And so we're not enemies. We've never tried to be enemies with the district, but we're also not willing to be silent when the truth is not being made. Those are my comments.
Thank you. Okay, we're educational items by the superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. McMullen. I just would like to clear one thing. It's not the board decision to get teacher supply money out. That's the district. So I need to strike that comment or make sure that comment is understood. It's not a board. That is what the district then do under the direction of the superintendent. So it's not the board.
Now, let's stop right there for a moment. What you just heard was the superintendent. He publicly stated that he had the final say on when teacher supply funds would be distributed to the teachers. But here's the question. Does Florida law actually give the superintendent discretionary authority over those timelines? Because when we look at Florida Statute 1012-71, the language appears very clear. The statute states that eligible teachers shall receive these classroom supply assistance funds by very specific deadlines. Shall, when it comes in a statute, is considered mandatory language. So now this is where the issue is. If the state law has already established when the school supply funds are supposed to be distributed to the teachers, then what discretion does the superintendent actually have? And this is why we gotta hold people publicly accountable, because when public officials start to make these statements as if they're a fact, we expect them to be accurate. But that's not what always happens. We should be able to expect our public officials to accurately communicate policy, procedure, and state law to the employees and to the community. Florida's principles of professional conduct for educators state that educators shall not intentionally distort or misrepresent facts concerning an educational matter, indirect or indirectly public expression. That means they can't just make false statements just because they want to. And it also states that educators shall maintain honesty in all professional dealings. Now, I want to be clear. This is not about attacking individuals. This is about really reviewing the public statements against what the law says and asking whether the information being presented to the employees and to the public is accurate and consistent with Florida statute. And what also makes this important is that these statements were made publicly in front of the school board, the district legal counsel, HR leadership, and the finance officials. Yet no public clarification regarding the statutory language was provided. And that raises even larger questions. How many times has this been the case? Because in this situation, not only was this captured on video, it was stated in front of the whole school district, as a matter of fact, when in fact, 1012-71 states the opposite, that there is a timeline that is set. The superintendent does not have final authority or final say-so. He's supposed to be following Florida statute to the letter of the law. But unfortunately, in Gaston County, what continues to happen is the school board members who do not know the statutes and will not learn them, they also cannot enforce them or even make a statement when these type of things happen. He publicly made that statement for clarity and made a point to say that need to be corrected and understood, that the school supply funds are given out under the district under his discretion, when in fact the school supply fund has a statute that tells the school district exactly how it's supposed to be done. And that is policy and procedure and not day-to-day operations. It's day-to-day operations' job to execute the plan, but it's not their job to make the decision. And specifically, if you read the statute, you'll see that the superintendent is not mentioned in the statute one time. The superintendent, the position of superintendent, is not even a part of the statute. This is clearly a duty that's supposed to be overseen by the school board. But in Gaston County schools, our school board members sit by quietly while this continues to happen. And we have the lawyer there who should have been able to correct this. We have the HR department who should have been able to correct this. You have an assistant superintendent in charge of support services who should have been able to clarify and correct this. But none of them did. As usual, and what happens, the teachers get left behind, the community gets told something that is completely not true. And then we're being misled into thinking that everything is all right in our school system. And that ain't okay. But that's what we get. Before we elect these people, we need to make sure that they know what the job they're running for is supposed to be doing. This is another case where our school board members have sat there quietly while the superintendent has made a mockery of the statute and the law in the presence of everybody, and it was on video to see. Have a nice day.
Ain't no sugar coat, it's truth on the stage.
Come
Hey,
on.
Boogie, keep it rolling on the honest exchange.
Yeah.
We